Okay, little house update. Quite a few things have happened since. I'm going to give you guys a little tour, talk about where we are right now and what's going to be happening in the following weeks. This place is looking pretty mental right now, but here we go. So let's actually start outside. This is the little sort of garden area that I've got, and that is the kitchen. All new windows are going in here. They've been ordered a couple of weeks ago, and they take about 8 weeks to 12 weeks to arrive. A new door as well. This here is new. It was originally a corrugated asbestos sheet, which is the exact same that I've got on the roof of the kitchen, but that we wanted to get rid of, and the neighbour kindly did that before I even moved in. We've got some bags of slate here and some asbestos tiles and cement that was found. This stuff hasn't been damaged, and it's also a non-friable form of asbestos, so as long as it's not like sanded or grinded, it's fine sat where it is. It's also not a kind that requires a license, so we're going to get some bags that you seal up, and we're going to shove it in the car and take it down to the dump. But most of it is slate and stuff like that. It's really hard to tell the difference though between asbestos and slate. That right there is asbestos and that one's slate. Can you see what I mean? It's crazy. But a lot of it was just left in the roof from when they were actually doing the roof. They were just the pieces lying around that they would offcuts and all that kind of stuff. So we were wearing heavy masks when we put them in the bags, and we hoovered everything upstairs, and then yeah, here it is. So yeah, we're not going to be touching this for a little while because it's not something that I can afford to do. The one thing that is a bit more pressing is fixing all the cracks on the back of the house. So the builder is going to be stripping all of this off, all of this render off back to the brick. Gives them a chance to patch anything that's a problem. Check out the lintels. The lintels actually up here have been replaced with concrete, which is fairly good. On the front of the house they're wood, but these two windows are UPVC sliding double glazed windows, so they should actually be relatively new. My neighbour has the old wooden sliding sash, as you can see over there. Going to get new gutters, new fascia board, and the chimney stack needs to be patched up because that's currently letting in a lot of water. So we need to check the flashing on that and all that kind of stuff. The garden has finally been cleared. It was just catering for a pile of plasterboard and all that kind of stuff. So that's all finally gone now. This is going to be completely redone eventually. It's kind of on the last thing on my list to even be thinking about, but it's going to be a really nice light herringbone brick pattern with a sort of a black wooden border with some nice little gravel paths. It allows not gravel path, like a little gravel sort of seam around the edge, which allows water to just go away from the house because we've got a bit of a problem with damp at the moment. So into the kitchen, as you can see, looks lovely. Could love to cook a meal in here right now. So I've taken off all of the plasterboard from the ceiling. The felt has all been tested for asbestos, and that is negative. This is relatively new. This is probably about 20 years old or something, this kitchen extension. This is the original granite wall on the back of the house. This is all going to stay, I think. It's just for the sake of it. That was a part of the asbestos test. He had to check that there was, he did that on every single wall and ceiling and floor, but we're just going to patch that straight up because it's a modern insulated plasterboard, and it's dot and dabbed on the wall, and it's pretty okay. Maybe needs to plaster over a few areas and whatnot, but anyway, very thin 2x2 framework going in here, stud walls, allows cables and everything to be hidden, and also we'll be building a little bit of a cavity off the wall, which we'll be doing in every wall, so I'm not going to say that on every single wall, but plan is in here, nothing structural, 2x2, everything very nice and simple. Probably use a metal stud on that wall because it's a really cold wall. On the other side, you've got a breeze from the sea coming in because I'm right next to the beach. This is all going to be just covered up. Again, a little stud, hide this little overflow sort of breathing pipe for the hot water heater, boiler thing, whatever the words are. Cover all of that up. Same in here, nice and thin, keep it all nice and tucked up to the wall. Over here, we're going to be doing a 2x4 stud. The ends of some of these joists are a little bit rotten. You can see that one there's just starting to go a little bit, but there is a good 6-7 inches of beam, like sturdy, dry joist that is sat on this wall, so we're not too worried, but we are going to be counterbattening the ceiling to accept a plasterboard size that won't need to be cut down. So the idea is it will tie everything together and spread out the surface area of the load, but also allow us to just fit a plasterboard piece straight up onto the roof. So that is the onto the ceiling. That's the plan with that. And using a 2x4 over this side will also allow us to sort of secure these joists a bit better. These ones here are far worse. You can see absolutely terrible, but they only run to there. So we're just going to be taking those straight out and putting some brand new ones in. So that is that. Nice and simple on this wall. We're going to be keeping this in. It's kind of structural as a part of the stairs. So we're just going to be putting plasterboard straight onto that. It doesn't need to be heavily insulated because it's just a piece of wood. So it's and it's not exactly a partition to a cold area. So we're just going to plasterboard straight onto that. This sort of little doorway thing, that's all going to be completely ripped out, and a new stud work's going to go in. The electrician's going to be running. He's going to need to rewire this entire thing, run the cables under here, and they're going to go up there, as is the soil pipe. So that will clear up this area a bit, because you don't really want to be walking into a house and hitting a box that was around here before I've exposed it. So that's pretty much that. Just stud wall here, and nice and simple. On this wall, we're going to be using, I think it was 2x3, and I can't remember if the carpenter said he's going to use metal studs on this. We've got quite a lot of problems to be dealing with here, so we're just going to patch it up for now. And basically, if someone wanted to spend the money later down the line, getting all of this rebuilt, and that's their prerogative. I'm not going to be doing that. It's too expensive. The thing needs to be rebuilt. Basically, the little lintel there is made out of metal, and it doesn't go very far past either edge, so it's just structurally very dodgy. You just wouldn't really want to touch it. So I've exposed all these joist ends here. They're all pretty fine, actually. A little bit wet. Sorry if my hand's shaking a little bit. You can see some of this has rotten on the bottom here, but that's sat on a brick wall, so it's not too bad at all. There's been no airflow under here at all. There is actually two subfloor vents that go above the pavement, which sort of periscope down, but they're completely blocked. So the builder's hopefully going to take out that brick at the front and just push everything down or up and give it a nice clean, put it back on, and then that can actually work. There's probably 3 decades of bunged up crap, maybe even more, probably since the house was built. I don't think anyone's ever put any attention into it, but it's yeah, pretty urgent that we sort that out so we can get some air under here. There's a nice solid brick wall underneath the middle of the house to give the center some rigidity. So we've got no bowing or anything in the floor. These floorboards are fine, free of woodworm, bar a few that we had on the edge where it was getting rotten, but woodworm can't exist without water, and the water never got very far, so it's all good. All of these are fine. This one down here is not, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but it's super spongy. That's because, as you can see down there, the end piece has just completely... that was actually a second piece of wood. Obviously, the one that they had didn't run the whole length. So that just rotted away to nothing, and then the water actually stopped. But a lot of those problems are caused by the chimney letting in a lot of water and cracks on the external render, and again, no subfloor ventilation. So that's pretty much that with this room. I know I've waffled on for a long time, but some people really like the detail of some of the stuff that I'm doing. Completely new front door. That's coming in soon. You can probably hear the sound of the road. The road is literally, if I can open this, road is literally there. So we need to get a nice thick composite door that's going to go in there with some double glazed sort of replicas of these windows to go straight in there. But again, PVC, wood's really expensive and requires a lot of maintenance. This is the stairway going up. We're just going to be plasterboarding straight onto this wall. To get it redone, like the lime rendering on this would just be really expensive. So we'll just cover it up. It's not an external wall, it's my neighbouring wall between me and the neighbour. This is the joist, one of the joists that runs through. There was originally like a piece of wood that came down here, but we're going to take that off so we can plasterboard straight up. We'll move this banister in. We're going to get a completely new one anyway because this one's caked in 40 years of paint. I also took off the little beading around there, so it's just a bit more modern to have more straighter edges. None of it was structural, and to have some piece of wood with loads of beading underneath, I'm sure would be nice if you wanted to do like an authentic restoration of an old house, but I want to make this look new. I don't want to see anything old. So yeah, come up here. Pretty sketchy, but it's all right. This is the loft hatch that goes up. We've got a completely new ladder that's going to be going in there, which is sweet. It's like a folding down stair one. Very excited for that to go in. Up here is going to basically be the same as the downstairs. 2x4 on some walls, 2x2 on others, 2x3 on others. Some metal, some wood. It's all going to be a bit of a mixture. The carpenter starts next week, start of next week. So that's super exciting. Some of these joists are going to be cut and strapped and replaced. There's a hole in the roof from where the aerial cable was just put in on a bodge attempt to do something quickly and inexpensively. So that's fun. Good job to that guy. Completely coming out. All of this. This is all going to be new stud work. It allows us to insulate it. The asbestos guy checked behind it and it's just tongue and groove wood. So we're going to be moving this in slightly. Nice thick 2x4 structural for the middle of the house, and also means we can whack some solid insulation in there. Completely new door frame. And then, yeah, scooch past here into the bedroom. This is lovely. Looks fantastic. It is actually completely dead now, but still needs to be sprayed before scraped off. I've had all the windows open in here. This is all dry, which is fantastic. Little bit wet up there, and that's because of the rotten fascia board. I'm getting into the lingo of all this crap. So all of this will be studded up, completely the same over here. This wall is moving back to where this is. So we're gonna have an extra sort of 2 feet in the bedroom, which will also bring that window into our bedroom. So imagine that wall's gonna come down there, and then that will be the bathroom. So that's gonna be quite nice little bathroom. Shower in there, toilet where the sink was, and then a sink on this wall, and then a towel rail on that wall. Loud moped. You can see why it's urgent that we sort out the sound problems. That is pretty much it for the house tour update. Loads of things for people to be getting started with. Lots of money, and I don't have a lot of money. So this is going to be quite a scary period of time. Carpenter is £7,000. Builder is £7,000. Doors and windows, £8,000. So it's going to be crazy. Luckily, the people that I've got on board don't require the money immediately. We spoke to the electrician as well. That's £3,000 to get the first phase of electrics done. I wanted to be really transparent with this sort of work to give you guys an idea of what is involved in doing this kind of stuff. I don't want to be like, this is on the second channel anyway, so this isn't trying to be like a pretentiously showing off thing. Hopefully you'll appreciate talking one-on-one and giving you a rundown of the prices and stuff. So yeah, although I'm sure I'll get an indication in the comments if people don't want me to talk about money. So yeah, all of that has to happen. I've gotten on board basically small individual people that allow me to pay over a few months. So that means I can hopefully earn some money and pay for it as we go. So we'll have to see how it all works out. I'm sure it's going to be fine, but exciting. So yeah, that's pretty much it. It's all sort of happening within the next few weeks. The builder starts next week, scaffolding goes up next week, carpenter comes next week, electrician comes after the carpenter, and then the carpenter comes back in, plasterboard, insulation, all that kind of crap, and then the carpets. Might as well not even think about those right now because they're like 2 months away, 3 months away. But yeah, that is pretty much an update. Hope you've all enjoyed. This is quite a long video, second channel. If you have gotten this far, comment the word plasterboard and I'll heart it. Yeah, the asbestos survey, by the way, is something really scary. You know, it's a very, very scary thing. If you're going to do any sort of work like this, get that done. Luckily, we had an era of house that was just too old for it. There was lath and plaster ceilings. There can sometimes be asbestos in that, but we got that all sampled and tested, and that came back negative. There was a few plasterboard things that looked really scary. Some glass rock fiberboard, plasterboard, whatever it's called. That looks frightening. If you're told what the description of asbestos looks like, and then you find some of that, it is a scary thing to discover. But we got that all sampled. Just wear a big mask. You know, I'm pretty comfortable to be walking around here now anyway, because all of the dust is hoovered up off the floor. I bought this massive hoover. But stuff like this is fine for lifting things that you've already taken down. But in the initial process of showering yourself in old dust, I would wear a heavy respirator, like full face respirator. Definitely worthwhile. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Thank you very much for watching. I will be capturing a lot of the actual professionals doing their jobs, because that's going to look sick, and I'm going to make a main channel video out of that. So yeah, catch you in the next one. Bye.